Keep the change, you filthy animal. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today we're going to talk about the new Lightspeed bundles. There's even more of them that have been announced by CG, and they're pretty good. They're all going to be coming out in the next week or so. I think they're going to be kind of staggered up to Christmas. I think that was the last one that's going to be released. I could be wrong about that, but there's a couple Revans in there. There's a couple pretty cool things. So let's talk about which ones are worthwhile, because all of them are worthwhile if you want to spend money on the game, if that's something you find good. But there's going to be some things that are better than others, and always good to kind of discuss this thing. So huge shout out to my patrons, by the way. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for all of it. I couldn't do any of this without you guys. Thank you so much. I need to get a new mic, and I think this is I'm gonna do it because of my patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's mount the algorithm. Let's mount it together. We're about to mount it all the way into 2025. Should be good, man. It'll be good. Well, you'll see. You'll see. Let's get to it, folks. So there's a Commander Ahsoka Tano pack, which is crazy to me. They've been farming the she's been around for a while now. She's Jedi Master Kenobi's lifter unit, of course, but she goes way beyond that. I'm a little surprised that she is being released this way, honestly, just because they've had packs out for a long time. I'd be interested to see what the data is on this, but they've had money packs for just a few shards of hers for a long time. That you pay $30 or something like that, you get 40 shards, and it's expensive, it's tough to get. She's only farmable for GET3 for really expensive, exorbitant rates there, or in the really slow to farm proving grounds. It takes over a year to farm her from start to finish, and so I don't blame people for wanting to get her early. I'm surprised. I would wonder if maybe the money packs that they've been selling her for have gone way down. But anyways, you get her for Relic 5. This is pretty good, folks. Now, I suppose I should say at this point that there's no pressure from me at all to spend money. I tend to spend money on these things because they're amazing deals in terms of relative value within the game's economy. They are very strong in that term. In those terms, you can get a relic character for like hundreds of dollars if you want to actually just spend in-game, if you want to spend money to buy crystals and then crystals to buy the gear that's required for those characters. You can spend hundreds of dollars, or instead you could buy a Lightspeed bundle. And so for $40, you get a pretty, this is a very rare, tough to get character. All the proving grounds, like old Conquest unlock characters, are very tough to get. And that's why I put out my videos that talk about how to get Conquest done in 6 months instead of the 3 normally, because at least you're keeping them out of proving grounds. However, this is a character who is very impactful on your roster. It's not just if you have Jedi Master Kenobi, it's also if you want to just benefit any number of squads. So she goes really well. It needs to go on an all light side squad, just as a heads up. But then she's really strong with Rey. If you have Galactic Legend Rey, she's amazing there. She's also really good with like a Padme team, with a Dash Rendar team, maybe with CLS. You can actually counter multiple Galactic Legends with a Cat May team, like Cat with Padme. Really strong stuff. And in a way, Jedi Master Kenobi, I made the joke before, but he really is kind of a cat lifter unit instead of the other way around. She is just really good. It's kind of a buzzkill once Kenobi comes out, once you finally unlock him, I should say, because of how good she was with other squads, and she is significantly better with Kenobi. But just because you don't have that Galactic Legend doesn't mean she doesn't hold value. So I would highly recommend this pack to people who don't have any of her shards. If you're going to spend money on the game, she is a very impactful character, very rare and tough to get. it might not be intuitive how to use her, however. That's the other thing. Jedi Revan is a character who's been out for a long time, man. He's so impactful. It's an interesting thing. You can get this pack, and he's amazing for $10, getting 5 characters up to Relic 3. Very good deal, obviously, in terms of the in-game economy. He's also a character, if you get those, like, it's almost more worthwhile to get those characters, like the bundle, to get them to 7 stars as opposed to get them to relics. Yes, those characters are all decent on some levels, but you can unlock him with Relic 8 characters for the most part. You don't really need them to be Gear 8 characters. You don't need them to be super high gear. However, he is one of the most impactful characters in the game. I still think, in my opinion, he's the best legendary level character out there for what he does. His just completely unique skill set. He can increase cooldowns with his marking ability, and he can increase cooldowns on Galactic Legends even. He can swap turn meter. He has the savior mechanic, which everyone else kind of tries to emulate now that there's several different savior mechanics from like Malicos or Jedi Master Kenobi, etc. And yeah, he's still really good in the end game, folks. You can also, this pack is nice because you get Bastila, who is part of the Leviathan unlock characters, which is really nice. She is really good early game. Jedi Revan is really strong early game, mid game, and still is very strong in the end game. Basti kind of tapers off toward the end of mid game, but she still does some decent work. There's a few different niche teams that she could be on. She does some cool stuff. And then she's obviously, you still need a Relic 7 for Leviathan. So even if she sucked, it would still be nice to get her relics. The rest of them, if the Wookiees ever get a good team, we need like one character like Gungi or however you pronounce it, to boost that team into relevance, Zalbar will absolutely be good. The other ones, Jolee used to be good, man. He still use him if you want to use Jedi Master Luke to counter Kenobi. You still take Jolee to revive your Jedi. So, anyways, can be good. Darth Revan, I would say his team is probably better than Jedi Revan. However, if you can't get Malgus, I mean, his team is still pretty strong. Darth Revan he's still really good. He's very strong, and you need him to unlock Leviathan as well. You need him Relic 9, in fact, so it's good. He's got a good squad. I think the value for this pack, though, folks, like the Jedi Revan one isn't strictly necessary because you can get those characters so easily. I mean, for $10, it's tough for me to say anything is a bad deal for these hyperdrive bundles at $10. The thing that's nice about this, and this is actually one I'm going to buy for my alt, is the characters are so useful in other places in the game. Yes, Darth Revan can be good in other places, for sure. I'm not debating that. However, you have Canderous, who works really well with Maul, like a Mandalorian team. Either you can have a Mandalorian team that isn't just dark side, and Canderous still works really well there. Or if it's just a dark side team, he works just really. He's really nice with Maul. It's kind of a niche team, but he does work there nicely. Karth is fairly worthless. Juhani is really good in terms of territory wars. She has an Omicron that makes Starkiller actually good. Again, one of the best Omicrons in the game. And if you don't want, I don't have a relic. You didn't need her to be relicked for the rest of the unlock process for Darth Revan, but she's still really good at relics because she lifts that Starkiller team, and then she can go with Starkiller in GAC. Even though I cringe when people do that, it's still fairly effective, if I must admit it. Basti, of course, is on the Darth Revan team, and HK can go kick rocks. We have Wat here now. There's a lot of people who would give a Wat to unlock him, and for $20 this isn't bad. You can farm him in the shipments if you want to. I think it's in the same place. I'm just totally spacing, guys. I think there is a place you can get him in shipments now for rare currency. And then you can also, if you're in a guild who just wants to do the geo territory battle, you can unlock him that way. He's kind of rare though. It's tough to get. He's a very good plug-and-play character. He's kind of diminished as a plug-and-play character over time. That doesn't mean that he's bad. It just means that there's a lot of more internal synergy within the teams that CG are releasing these days, which also means you don't need some weird robot guy to interfere with your teams. You don't need them to intervene to save your team and make it good. They do that on their own, and so his relevance is kind of diminished a little bit. Still very strong in the early and mid game, and then of course he's required to unlock Kenobi, and so this is kind of an interesting Lightspeed bundle grouping, because if you want to get Kenobi, there's like kind of two big requirements and big caveats there, where it's like, okay, well, you need Wat in order to unlock Kenobi, and then you need Cat to unlock Kenobi, not because she's actually required for the unlock missions. It's because once you start unlocking, once you do unlock Kenobi, he's just not strong enough on his own to handle life at all. You need Cat there to actually make him good. And so why would you unlock him if you didn't have Cat? So now you kind of have the before and after teams. You have Cat, who will help you get good once you get Kenobi. But in order to get Kenobi, you need Wat, and he's like the rare one. He's the tough one to get for Kenobi. So pretty strong stuff. He can go with trench teams. That's not probably what most people want to hear, because trench is hit or miss for most people. But he's also a really good Galactic Legend babysitter that kind of helps the Eternal Emperor take things out. He can help Jedi Master Luke do certain things. He can be useful on teams. Like I said, in the end game, his use is a little bit diminished. But for $20, this isn't a bad pickup, guys, especially if you're an early game account. Traya is an interesting one, folks, and I would say this is... I'm not saying that the team is bad. I love the team. You guys know, those of you who watch the channel, I use, especially my live streams, I use her all the time. She's on defense, she's on offense. She's a very active team in the end game, mid game, early game. She's amazing. Really good stuff. I would say the only reason I would say don't buy this pack, like if you want to buy all the other packs, you need to like save $20 or whatever. This is the one to skip, because all the characters are so readily available and farmable, even from the very start. Yes, she requires raid currency, but as long as you're in a guild that is generating raid currency, you should be good to go. And this team is very strong. I love this team. I really do. I don't think it's a bad deal for $20 for 3 characters that are Relic 5. I think it's fine in terms of money and in-game economy, blah, blah, blah. I just think that this one is the one that is the most readily available from day one. So, is it a bad deal? Not really. Is it something that you could do on your own for free without much effort? Also, probably. I mean, my alt, I never got around to getting him to Relic 5. It'd be nice to have him Relic 5. I'm not going to spend the money just to get him from Relic 3 to 5, but it could be helpful. I guess the one thing I will say, folks, is she's amazing in Proving Grounds. She helps you with like 3 or 4 of the unlocks, and that is actually really nice to have. She's very useful in a ton of different game modes. Still a very relevant team, just also available for free, kind of. So do what you want, guys. So there's 2 packs for Sith Eternal Emperor to be able to unlock this dude, and neither of them are very nice looking initially. Royal Guard is just absolutely unnecessary for any Sith Eternal Emperor team. In fact, all of these characters are just terrible with him because he's a Sith, he's not Empire, but they're all required to help unlock him. So what do? Basically, they just help you unlock him. Krennic is worthless. Piet you need for a few different things. Specifically, of course, you need him to help you unlock Executor and use Executor, and he's also very strong with Lord Vader. He's very strong with Troopers. Not that Troopers are very strong in the end game, but he's useful. You'll like Piet's the most useful guy there. He's also very obtainable without having to spend money, of course. Krennic is This is like almost the Krennic pack, because it feels bad to have to spend spend relics, spend any materials or stuff or anything to get him up to relics, because then you just ditch him. You just relic and ditch him, and it's very sad because he sucks the most. He is awful. He has no redeeming value whatsoever. It's very sad. It's tragic. I wish that he was better. That would be cool if he got some kind of a buff, but he won't, because who cares? Turkin had every once in a while his ship will poke its head into fleets and be like, hey, I'm kind of relevant, right? And most people are like, oh, not really, dude, like, you can leave. It's kind of sad. Otherwise, he doesn't really do that much these days either. The Veers and Stark are both good with the Imperial Troopers team, but outside of that, they're not that good. I will say this: having a strong troopers team will get you to the end of like the top level of both of the Empire. Well, I guess there's an Imperial Troopers and then there's an Empire assault battle. Both of those, if you have good troopers, you can get all the way to tier 3 and get it simple. So that is nice. And then of course you're gonna get Sith Eternal Emperor. I think that this pack is better here, folks. Yes, it's only 5 guys, but and I don't know the exact ratios in terms of the value and how much it costs for signal data, how much it costs for relic materials, but getting 5 characters up to relic 7 is no joke. It does take a lot of resources and time to farm that much stuff, and all of these characters are required at 7 or even more. For like Dooku, you need him, I think, 8 for Lord Vader. There's Darth Vader, obviously, he's a good pilot. He's also required for, I think it's for Sith Eternal Emperor. Is he also required for Lord Vader? I don't remember. But the only one that sucks, but you still need him at Relic 7, is Darth Sidious. Every once in a while, he'll get a good Datacron, but he is a very strong character on... Oh, he is not a good character, but you still need him at Relic 7 in order to unlock Sith Eternal Emperor. Darth Maul and Marauder, also characters that are required for Leviathan, and so there's actually 3 different packs that'll help you to be able to get Leviathan unlocked. Obviously, it's not everything to get Leviathan unlocked, but all these different packs, the Jedi Revan, the Darth Revan pack, and then this one will all get you significantly closer to unlocking the Leviathan, which is a nice kind of perk or bonus. I will say this. So this is a good pack. This is the one that I would buy between the 2 of them, because the character is the most useful and there's the most overlap in characters. The question mark goes like this: do you really care about unlocking Sith Eternal Emperor? Is he really worth it? Is he worth $50 to you? Maybe he is. He's kind of at the end game. He doesn't kill Galactic Legends. You don't use him to take Galactic Legends out for the most part. I think you can pair him with Bane and still do some work. You can use him in a few different weird situations, but for the most part, he is just kind of a joke. Like he'll. If you put a Traya team on defense, he'll kill. Like, he's a convenience character. Yes, there's other counters to this thing, but you can just throw him in there with Wat and with one of his babysitters, and then just get decent banners against like an A- level team. And that's his like biggest selling point. He's one of the worst Galactic Legends guys. Let's just face it. He's just not that compelling, and it's sad that that's the fact. Spending $50. Do you want to spend $50 on him, and do you want to wait for some other Lightspeed bundles for Galactic Legends who actually matter? That's the real question you have to ask yourself. I'm not saying that he sucks. I'm not saying that he's awful or that he's not worth it. Is $50 worth it to you? You get $50 to unlock a Galactic Legend. He's okay, and you get a bunch of progress toward other Galactic Legend unlocks. Some would argue that Lord Vader is even worse as a Galactic Legend, but we're a bunch of whiners in this community, guys. Anyways, I think this one is worth it. They're all kind of worth it to some degree. I think this one's more worthwhile than the first pack for him. It's your call, guys. I would love to hear, though, guys. Which ones are you buying? Which Lightspeed bundles are you buying? What things did I get right? What things did I get wrong? I would love to hear respectful discussion in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth prevails. And I hope you do too, folks. Take care.